Hi, I'm Nathan from Inside Microsoft and Inside Google of the Blog News Channel, and we're here with the fourth and hopefully the last of the Shredded Hand video blogs. So this is the last time I have to video blog. After this, I'm thinking of maybe just doing an occasional video blog for like a big story, maybe even get out one per day, something nice and short. But for now, we're just going to get through the news of the day for Microsoft. It is June 1st, 2007. And first off, before I get into anything, I just want to point out that Jason at Apple Watch apparently he decided that he too should be getting involved in some multimedia, and he did an Apple Watch podcast.
This is the first episode of Apple Watch Live. It is the May 30th episode, and my name is Jason Schramm. I'm going to first go through a little overview of what this...
Great. Okay, I'll put a link to that after the post in my blog. Speaking of which, anytime you need links or more information, come to Inside Microsoft at microsoft.blognewschannel.com. Okay, and the big news is Surface computing. Now, it had been rumored that Microsoft had this thing in the wraps called Playtable or Milan, some sort of a table with a touch screen, and the rumors all came true yesterday. The mystery product being revealed as Surface computing. Now, there was a lot of this shown off at All Things D, the big digital conference by the Wall Street Journal's Walt Mossberg, and Steve Ballmer was there showing it off. Just get a little down here. There's Ballmer and Mossberg sitting down, and finally sitting down at the table. So the table's pretty cool. We're going to go into real depth in it over the next few minutes, but basically it's a table with a multi-touch surface. It's not actually a touch screen, but it is very cool, and you can use your hands to manipulate it, drag things around, do all sorts of things. And so let's get a little deeper into this. There's a lot of videos out there you can see of this thing in action, including this video at Popular Mechanics, which looks into the way the table works and all the various things it can do.
Paper. You can do things like organize your photos, drag them around and resize them, and play with them as if they were real photos, real printed photos. And
that's just one application of it. There's a lot of good stuff. On 10 also has a video. Let's bring that up. You see again the photos, drawing.
Alright, so
just jump through the video, see what else we can find.
Here's my filter. What I can do also is, instead of just having one single point of contact like you might find on a kiosk, I can have two. So there's the second attribute of what a Surface computer is comprised of, and that specifically is multi-touch. From a hardware store, you can bring it to the Surface and paint with it just as you would in the real world. So go ahead and give it a try. We can dip the brush in another color paint, and you can see that the image is transmitted onto the Surface top. Again, you can press on My Face, so T-Mobile might have some specific promotion. They're building an invoice for you on the spot. Excellent. We can also take a look at services. Say if you're interested in texting, UI is sometimes difficult and challenging. This makes it easy for the user. Be a glass of wine, you could bring up an image of the winery, the winemaker, the vintages that are available from that winery, perhaps pairings for the calculator that allows you to determine what level of tip you'd like to leave.
wow.
Demonstrating the multi-user aspects of Surface computing. I can blow out the spill photos. What I can do then is I can manipulate them, or perhaps what I want to do is see what types of shows are available, and here I have the opportunity to take a look at an Elton John trailer, so I can simply press Q. At that point, if I wanted to see where I was located, I can look and see that I'm fifth in line for that song to play, which is really a nice...
Yeah, so when you flip it over, it just reverses the image in the tile.
That's exactly right. So what this gives us an opportunity to do is to have a variety of images that are...
Wow.
Okay, so you saw a lot of cool things there, and the obvious question is, well, how the hell does it work? So ours, Technica, has a look at what is below the surface of Surface, and there's a lot going on there. First off, it's not a touch screen. It is obviously a giant TV. They're kind of going for 30 inches as being the optimum. The way it works is it actually uses cameras, not a touch-sensitive surface. 5 cameras, with the idea being that they all get different angles on it and different fields of view, and get a very good resolution on what you're touching. With the 5 cameras, Microsoft says it can get up to 52 simultaneous touches, which means you can have 4 people there using all 10 fingers plus 12 objects on the table, and the table will be able to recognize all of them. So now I just mentioned objects. One of the things with the objects is that you'll be able to put a domino tag with dots that encode information about the object. You'll be able to put it on different objects in your house, including cameras, MP3 players, even just wine glasses and other things. And the table will be able to recognize what you've just put on it and do appropriate actions. If you put a digital camera down on the table, which is actually a full computer on the inside, will be able to communicate with the digital camera and pull the pictures out of it, which is what you were seeing, all those image manipulation. It wasn't just image manipulation, it was image manipulation off of a camera. You just drop the camera on the table recognizes there's a camera on it, pulls the photos off the camera, displays them, and then you can manipulate them in all sorts of different ways. And just by using your hands, you can spin them around, resize them, and do all sorts of cool things. You put down a wine glass, it might know that you've just put down specifically a wine glass and do certain wine-related activities. The point is that there's a million things it can do. It's an open thing for developers. They can do all sorts of cool things. You just have to recognize what's been put on the table and then devise an appropriate action. We've also heard that there could be things with the Zune, because you've got that Wi-Fi in the Zune, it communicates with the table, and all of a sudden you're playing MP3s off the Zune, maybe you're sending them to the Zune. There's all sorts of cool options in here. The table looks unbelievable, and we're talking about an actual product that will actually be produced and sold. Microsoft's talking now about using it more in Vegas, where the casinos can put down a ton of money to build this. I mean, because we're talking about a 30-inch DLP screen with a computer on the inside. That's a lot of money. Now that'll come down over time, and eventually you'll be able to put one in your house if you're rich. And who knows, in the really cool future where flying cars don't exist, we can make up for that by having one of these as your coffee table. Okay, so that's Surface Computing. Check out the blog for links to all these videos and all these websites talking about it. Next up, the other main story, we got 2 main stories. The other one is that there were new betas released yesterday of Windows Live Mail, Live Writer, and Windows Live Messenger 8.5. Live Mail used to be called Windows Live Mail Desktop. It's the desktop client, mail client designed to replace the mail client in Windows XP and Vista. And it's got a lot of cool features. It connects with Windows Live Hotmail accounts for free access offline. And without having to pay any. Normally it's a paid feature, but with Windows Live Mail you get that for free. Windows Live Writer is the blogging tool that was very popular when it was first released in beta late last year, and we've finally gotten an update to that with a lot of cool stuff. And also Windows Live Messenger 8.5 with new look and feel and some new options. We're going to go through each one of those. First off, Windows Live Messenger 8.5. LiveSite is talking about it. A few new things. It has complete support for Aero in Windows Vista, so you'll get some transparency in the user interface. Improved compatibility with Vista in other ways. A lot of work on the back end, giving better support for future features. It was basically the same leaked build that we were talking about in the last video blog. Here's some shots of the UI. You can see that it's changed a bit at the top. And the folder sharing that we were talking about, there's some stuff in there. It also integrates with Windows Live OneCare Family Safety Settings, a web-based service where parents can decide different family settings regarding their children's IM usage. And also, Windows Live Writer Beta 2. Beta 1 was enormously popular. It's one of the most popular posts I ever wrote when I reviewed it. And also, I was leaked the build of this a few months ago. The final one looks considerably different. All the new Windows Live products have this new transparent splash screen kind of getting you a little more into Vista. There's a new Windows Live UI that removes the flare at the top. Apparently they decided that was a bit too much. You can see here how it is. It's different from the screenshots I showed you a few months ago. There's a lot of cool new features, including the ability to add new categories or tags, inline spell checking, support for creating tables, support for extended entries and excerpts, but not in community server, support for SharePoint 2007. Plugins are automatically enabled after installation even while LiveWriter is still running. Specific features within the UI for specific services relating to the type of blog you use. It's available in 6 different languages. An easy way to get to Windows Live Gallery to get new plugins, and there's a lot of cool plugins out there. You're going to want to check those out if you do install this, and I recommend it. It's the easiest way to blog offline, and in many ways it's the easiest way to blog online too, because there's just so many features. It's just for spell checking. In most browsers you need that. Okay, so that's Windows Live Writer, and finally Windows Live Mail. This is the first release, I believe, under the new Windows Live Mail name. It'll replace Outlook Express on Windows XP or Windows Mail on Windows Vista. And it has an updated UI, again, updating to the new Wave 2 Windows Live UI without the giant flare. And there's some glass in it, a few other things. Matches Windows Live Messenger 8.5. You're not forced to sign in anymore like you used to be. That's optional. Although some features obviously won't work unless you sign in, like photo email. Advertising is being built into the client, but because it's still in testing, you can turn it off. It's contextual advertising that appears on the right side of the screen. This is what it looks like, obviously without the advertising because it's been removed here. But this is basically it. It's a very cool client, very reminiscent of what you'll get in Outlook 2007. Not as powerful, but it costs free. So definitely worth checking out. Here's another screenshot. The splash screen again, just like the one with LiveWriter. And it's a pretty good update according to LiveSite. So you're going to want to download those 3 new Windows Live betas, all released yesterday. Check out the blog, you'll get links. Now, we're just going to wrap things up. One thing to note, yesterday Windows Vista beta and release candidate versions expired, which means if you're still running them on your computer, you can't use your computer anymore. It's in reduced functionality mode, which has a lot of problems. You're not going to want to even think about using that. You're going to want to get your data off there and upgrade to the full version of Windows Vista or downgrade back to Windows XP because you no longer have a working operating system. Hey, it was free for a while. Be happy. Okay? And Microsoft and Walmart are being blamed in the death of a baby. Basically, the original Xbox had a very bad power cord, worse than even the giant monolithic brick that the Xbox 360 has. This was very faulty and was recalled. I remember when we had to send in our Xbox power cord and get a new one. And Microsoft did the recall, but in December 2004, a Illinois baby died, and they're blaming Microsoft and Walmart. I'm guessing Walmart's where it was bought, for damages in excess of $50,000, claiming that the console, which overheated, and the attached wall outlet sparked, lighting a fire and killing the baby. Now, obviously, this is a matter for a jury to decide if the Xbox actually is what caused the fire, but regardless, if you're suing because your baby died, $50,000? Really? How about a little more? It's a child's life. I mean, I don't get it. Okay? And last story, mark your calendars, because June 5th, there's going to be a really cool Windows mobile announcement. This is Gerardo Data talking about it in his blog. He works for Microsoft, and he's saying that there will be this big announcement. So when Engadget's talking about it, you know it's not just a rumor. The major announcement is coming from HTC, and we don't know what the announcement specifically is, but here's the poster for it. And I see someone touching. Now, that makes me think, given that the iPhone's UI is really being talked about with regards to touch screens and multi-touch, I'm thinking that HTC, makers of some of the best Windows Mobile smartphones out there, is going to be releasing some sort of multi-touch gadget, and so does Engadget. Everybody seems to think that this is what's happening, so it could be that HTC is releasing its big iPhone competitor on June 5th, or rather announcing it. Given that the iPhone is coming out at the end of the month, that would be very smart timing for them. So you're going to want to watch on June 5th, that's 4 days away, and see what happens. Okay, and that's all we got. I'm Nathan. This was Inside Microsoft. Go check out Microsoft.blognewschannel.com for links and more info. And I hope you enjoyed it. Next week, because hopefully these stupid stitches are coming out today, so hopefully we're going to be back to regular blogging, but seems like some people like the video blogging. I'm going to try to do more of that on big stories, like the Surface stuff, so you guys can get a more of a visual look at what's going on. Let me know what you thought of it, send some feedback, and I'll see you. Bye.